Good evening, family. How you all are doing? I am so glad to be back here with you all. Took a little opportunity to talk about the real Grinch who has stole Christmas, and I think the season is appropriate. There's a lot of crazy stuff that is happening, so I want to just come back on not only to show you guys some love, but to talk about some of the crazy nonsense that I've been seeing. And I just wanted to just see if you see what I see. And you don't have to see what I see, but I want to know if you see what I see. And in the meantime, in between time, brothers and sisters, go ahead and share the video. Let your friends, your family, and your frenemies know that I am live and I am going to be talking about the real Grinch who has stolen Christmas. I want to be able to share the joys that I have with this goddamn America. And I think it's an appropriate season to have this conversation. So I see all of you ladies and fellas coming on. I want to say shout out to all of you guys. I love y'all too. I miss you guys as well. But do me a favor, show your love by sharing the video. I don't ask you guys for much. I do appreciate all the blessings I get. But I do want you guys to share the video. Now, Tori Harrison is sending me some love from Texas, the nice, warm, crazy state. We love Texas now, don't we? But let me tell you guys something. I was Googling the Grinch that stole America. And I saw a rewrite of the Grinch that stole Christmas done by somebody who writes for The Guardian. So I thought this would be a great way to open up the discussion for today, because I know you're probably tired of hearing what I'm about to talk about, but I'm not tired of it. And you shouldn't be tired of it as well, because I'm just looking at how the Grinch that is leading our country is just stealing our liberties and our freedoms away and giving us little biscuits to be excited about. And some of us just don't see the nonsense. Some of us don't even care. Some of us are just so blown away by other stuff that is senseless, that don't make no goddamn sense, that we can't even see what's really happening. So before I go ahead and get started, I think it is fitting for me to read you guys this poem written by a contributor to The Guardian. Now, if any of you guys know about The Guardian, you know The Guardian is a newspaper that is liberal. And I do this because they're the bunch of Grinches, the liberals. You guys have no idea how the liberals is committing acts of sorcery right before your eyes. The liberals is nice and they're nice and trickery. You know, they have all the right things to say at the right times. They know how to get you guys attention. They know how to get you guys to just assume that everything is all peachy cream and all the stuff that they put in together is for your benefit, is for your good, is for the good of your children. But meanwhile, there are a bunch of little devils. Yes, I said it, and I know some liberals are watching tonight. That's okay. We can agree to disagree. You can talk about me on your platform, but this is my platform, and I'm going to talk about y'all. They are a bunch of little devils. Shout out to Iso Novoso. Thank you so much for that donation, love. I appreciate that. And they're sorcerers. That's why I call them. I call them because it's witchcraft like no other. Right in front of your eyes, all of America has come to pay attention to what they're doing. And by the time you guys all get to complaining, it's going to be too late. They would have already infiltrated your family. They will have already broken down so many more homes that have families intact, so many healthy homes that have families that are working together collectively. They would have changed everybody over. Everybody will be changed over into their little plan. And you guys have no idea. Somebody asked me, are you not a liberal? Why would you ask something stupid like that? Have you been following me, Mr. or Mrs. or whatever you are person? Have you been Why would I want to be a liberal? Why would I want to be a liberal to go into your children's schools, Because I know half of you motherfuckers send your kids to private public schools. I'm sorry. You already know I'm on my shit. Y'all already know I'm on my shit. Once I start cursing, you know I am on my fucking shit. You already know how I get. I was going to be nice today, but somebody done already started. Somebody already started the bullshit. So you know how I get when somebody starts the bullshit. You got bullshit, I give you bullshit. If you can just sit down and shut the fuck up and just let me be, you won't get the bullshit from me. You know I'm gangster. Y'all know how I keep it. I can't keep it nothing but who I am. And you ready? Yes, Simi gets it. Simi said, here we go. You already know I'm fired up. You should never have said the dumb shit. Are you not a liberal? Woo! Father, let me get on with today's topic because people already started my nerves today. And that's why I stay off of social media. Because people, what would make somebody think that I'm a liberal? I want to hear the nonsense. Because in the back of my head, I know why you said that. I know exactly why you said that. Because you're racist. I know why you said it. Not me, you. Not me, you. So why would you think I'm a liberal? I'm just curious. Don't run away now. Don't run away. I can't even say your name because your name is not written in English and I don't read that language. So don't run away now. Why would you think I was a liberal? Right? That's right. RO said they assume you are liberal because you're black. The ignorance. They think we are all the same. Oh yeah, they think we cape for the Democrat Party. They think that because you black, you can never be nothing else. You just have to be. See, somebody said, I don't know. This is the person. I don't know. Your views seem liberal leaning. Ooh, does this person know me? Ooh. So family, y'all been with me forever. Does this person know me? Liberal leaning. Do I even send my child to a public school? Do I even allow others to educate my children? This person has not been following me. Oh, no, not at all. No, sweetheart. My views are not liberal. In fact, the liberals hate me. In fact, I've been banned off of Facebook for like a week or two. For what? I don't know. Something I must have did a long time ago. They dug up some old ass video that I did that's still very relevant. And they didn't like it. Liberals don't get banned off of social media. Liberals do not fuck with liberals' money. Okay. If you are a liberal, you are not at jeopardy of losing your livelihood. I am every waking day. So now let's go ahead and talk about it, because people like to get my ass fired up. I think y'all like when I'm mad. I think y'all like when I get fired up. But I'm here to teach y'all some goddamn things. Y'all need to wake the fuck on up. Y'all need to wake up because y'all sleeping. Y'all sleeping and y'all don't really get it. So let me start off by reading a poem that I found in The Guardian. Thank you for that donation, Key, right? They said this person ain't in the know. No, but we welcome everybody. We welcome everybody to the channel. Come on through, learn some. Hate me, love me. I don't give a fuck. Hate me, love me. Be good, be good. Just sit down, learn something. Get a pen and paper. Eat what you can eat, and whatever you cannot digest, regurgitate it. Get rid of it. Detox it. Who the fuck cares? Just get what you can get from it. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. Let me get back on my nice streak. Fix myself so I can get nice again. Right? Somebody said, I don't like when you be cussing us out. Baby, don't get me started, Scorpio. Don't start none, won't be none. Static. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so let me get back to this. So I was looking for an appropriate picture to put on my thumbnail on Facebook, on YouTube. And I came across an article written in The Guardian back in January 2021. And it was talking about the Grinch that stole America. And it was referring to the previous president, Trump. And so when you read this crafty article, I was saying, oh, well, the joke is on them today because there's a different Grinch in town. And it ain't Trump right now, right? So I just find that is very soothing to read this poem. And then we're going to get into some discussion today. Shout out to our Traffic 973. Thank you so much for that donation. Let's talk about this poem, right? And then we're going to talk about what you guys should expect in the next upcoming weeks. So the poem says, every vote down in Voteville liked voting a lot, but the Grinch who lived west of Voteville did not. For voting was counting, not just adding and such, but finding out if you amounted to much. In this case, the question was, who in a pinch amounted to more? Did the Veep or the Grinch? The Veep, what a creep, what a creep, 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 creep. He simply could not be outdone by the Veep. But the Veep was experienced. The Veep, y'all, is Biden. This is what they're talking about. I need y'all to follow. The Veep they're talking about is Biden. But the Veep was experienced. He done big jobs. He was smart. He was a smart ass. He knew all the knobs and the levers and buttons that worked the state ship. And the Grinch, well, re-knowledge, he was not too hip. The president of India, the economy passed. He had never been close to the head of the class. They're talking about Trump, because Trump wasn't too smart, just like Bush wasn't, right? Wasn't too smart, according to the records, right? So far, the poor Grinch hadn't amounted to zip. He just hadn't counted. He gave him the pit. His father, his eminent dad, his own blood, compared to him, Grinchy had proved it quite a dud. And now that he actually reached his big day, counting the ballots could steal it away. Now, what they're saying here, remember when they did the whole ballot count with the whole COVID that was among us, and they wanted to protect the ballots, and they wanted to mail in these ballots and all these things that they did, and so many of us, not me, of course, not me, because I like to read. I like to read and research. But so many of us, we just wanted to go along with it. We just wanted to do whatever they said was in the best interest, and we really didn't think everything through. But that's a whole nother conversation that we're not going to have today. And what was a ballot? Was it silver or gold? Were they counting up treasure, a fortune untold? No, just some dumb punch card. They were counting up holes. Oh, the holes. Yes, the holes. Oh, the holes. The whole thing depended on circles of air, not to mention the half holes and holes that weren't there, but that wanted to be there and thought that was fair. All they would do was to add up, to count, and they count and they'd count and they'd count. And they'll probably end up with quite a wrong amount. If they go on counting, the Grinch shudder eep. They might just wind up electing the Veep. How to stop it? The Grinch exclaimed with a moan. And then he remembered he wasn't alone. There were Grinches all over, big Grinches and small. There were Grinches in Voteville and in City Hall. He knew some new Grinches. He could depend on these inky fellows to shape and to mend their stories to help him win through the end. But the Grinches who give him the edge and the win were great legal Grinches and Grinches of spin. So he called on his cohorts, my friends, we must Grinch. This election enough counting, get to work, do not flinch. We must Grinch, Grinch. We cannot be beaten by circles of air, or circles that only imagine they're there. Every day they count them, the total will creep up and up until it elects that old Veep. So they Grinch the election, they Grinch day by day, until all the options was whittled away. They Grinched it with lawyers, they Grinched it with writs, they split all the hairs, and they picked all the nits. And when it came up to the ultimate bench, they Grinched it away with one final wrench. They ordered all Voteville to give up its count before it came up with that quite wrong amount. And the votes down in Voteville, they're run out of steam. 'Tis the season to party, to heal and to dream. Why worry? The Constitution is strong. The judges who judge, it can never be wrong. The Veep may have won, but he's lost, and that's that. Voteville accepts the high judge's fiat. There isn't a holler. There isn't a scream. Think of the dollar. Let's play for the team. So everyone okays the Grinch's regime, and things are probably not as bad as they seem. 4 whole years of Grinchdom, the Grinches cries with glee. There's only one person who counts now. That's me. I found that was fitting for this discussion. What's up, family? I found that was very fitting for this discussion because, and I want to make this very clear. I am in no way saying the previous president should be in the chair today. And I am in no way saying the current president should be in the chair today. Now, y'all already know I do not think the current president should be in the chair today. Y'all already know that I was totally against it. And y'all already know that some of us, I have to say some of us, because I don't want to divide us, but we are divided. I don't want to divide us. But some of us were so gung-ho that we had to get rid of the Grinch. We had to get rid of the Grinch because the Grinch was stealing our country. The Grinch was stealing America. Some of us was gung-ho into having a conversation that if we don't take back our country, we are going to be in a whole bunch of trouble. Now, here we are. It's been it hasn't been a whole year, but it has been a whole year since our election. And I think America is in real bad shape. That's just my opinion. I'm listening to so many things that are being said by the people that I know. I'm listening to families that are coming home and calling me, and they're saying once upon a time they had a grip on their children, and now they do not have a grip on their children. Their children are going to school. Their children are learning so many things that go against their values, so many things that go against their faith, so many things that go against their belief, and they are totally appalled by what is happening. I hear so many people contacting me, and they have little itsy bitsy children that are questioning their parents about how they're parenting. They have little itsy bitsy children that are questioning. Don't get offended, y'all, because y'all know so many people follow me. The people that really work with me and know me know how I stand and where I stand in this position. But I am going to speak my mind on certain things. So I want to give y'all the disclaimer. I'm just reiterating what is said to me, and I think is worthy of discussion. This has nothing to do with my opinion, but I think it's worthy of discussion because it is reflecting what is happening in our country today. I have a lot of people contacting me, whether they're coming in for sessions with me or whether they need my advice. They're writing me emails, you name it. But I have a lot of people who little itsy bitsy children who don't even know what a kiss feels like, who doesn't even know what the hell their private parts are for, are questioning their sexuality. They're questioning whether or not they can be called boys or whether or not they can be called girls. They're saying things in languages that they don't fully understand and they're not able to fully define. A lot of parents are dealing with this situation every single day because the curriculum in the schools are changing. There's a lot of information that's being thrust out there that's being targeted toward our little children. There are a lot of cartoons that are inappropriate now for our children, that are making our children think about things they ordinarily would not think about. There's a lot of sorcery. Listen, see what 444 watching me said? I'm not making this up. I am not making this up. 444 watching me. How old is your niece? How old is your niece? Right? Just let me know how old is your niece. But I'm just saying to you all that there are a lot of things that are happening. And so many children are being impacted. So many parents don't know what to say anymore. So many people are afraid. So your niece is 16. Thank you for that. So many people don't know how to address things anymore. They are afraid of saying what's on their mind, because if they speak out and say what's on their mind, they run the risk of having consequences, negative consequences against them. So many people are living in fear. They're living in fear in society. They're living in fear in their family. They are living in fear in their own homes where they pay all the bills. Something nefarious is happening in America. Ooh, they freezing my channel. Somebody's reporting me. Somebody is reporting me. You know how that happens. You already know how that happens when people start getting salty. I didn't say anything wrong, but you already know motherfuckers get salty and they start reporting my ass. You already know how it goes, but I'm just saying. So I decided that we have to have this conversation because we're not really having this kind of conversation. So I decided that I'm going to talk about a topic that you guys don't want to hear. And the reason why I keep bringing up this topic, because I'm watching this thing unfold right in front of our eyes. And it's so obvious. And once this thing, if it does go off with a hit, like we think we saw the big boom, the boom didn't come yet. But as long as we remain quiet, as long as they get it off with this boom and how they can control the people, oh, baby, y'all not ready for what is about to come. When I tell you there is a new world order, there is a new world order happening right in front of our eyes. I want to talk about this thing right quick. The Omicron variant. I know some of y'all don't want to hear about it. But y'all have to. The Omicron variant. Y'all hear all this news out there right now about the Omicron variant. People are afraid. People done canceled Christmas. People done canceled Thanksgiving. People are canceling themselves. They're not doing anything because every time you turn around, the minute you start getting loose, the minute you start getting comfortable, the minute you start saying to yourself, I'm going to get my life back, they find another way to scare your ass. And so many of us are so afraid. And I'm sitting back here and I'm saying, listen, this is all that America needs. America just needs majority of you guys, 51%. America just needs majority of you guys to be afraid, because as long as you are afraid, you can be controlled. Listen to what I'm saying. As long as you are afraid, you can be controlled. There are so many people that live their lives in fear, and because of that, they have not reached their greatest potential in life because they are afraid. We see how fear works every day. That's what I meant to say. We see how fear works every day in our everyday lives. So many of you guys have so many talents that you're not using because of fear. Some of you guys are afraid of starting a business because of fear. Some of you guys are afraid of homeschooling your own children despite the wickedness that is going on in the school systems because of fear. Some of you guys are afraid of telling your children what is acceptable for you, what is not acceptable, what you would approve on in life and what you will not approve on, who they could date, who they cannot date. So many of you guys are so afraid of taking a stance. And because of that, you do nothing. And as long as you do nothing, your life will be controlled by others. And so America has proven that. America wants you to be scared about the Omicron variant, right? America wants you to be scared about a lot of things. But I'm going to use this Omicron variant as a discussion today because I think it's fitting. I think if you guys just follow me with the bouncing ball, it will start to make sense for you. Should you be really scared of this Omicron variant? Now, I know some of you guys don't care because you guys don't follow the news, and I don't follow the news either. I follow social media. I follow people on social media who are physicians, right? Because, there's different level doctors. I'm a doctor, but I'm not a medical doctor. But there are so many different people, right? So I like to follow social media by the people that have a brain And I like to follow social media by the people who are not afraid of exercising the First Amendment, right? Because we have to understand the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. We have to understand it. We have to be able to use it to our empowerment. So I'm really, really, really excited about people who are not afraid of exercising their right to free speech, right? America wants you to be afraid. The media has been letting you guys know that, oh my God, there's a new variant and it's more dangerous than Delta. There's no evidence that says that. There's no evidence that says that. It was found in South Africa, and even the physicians, the scientists, and everyone from South Africa said it is very mild. They're not concerned about the symptoms. They're still going to watch it. They have not had any hospitalizations from it. They have not had any deaths from it. But for some reason, America has stirred up some fear, and Americans have taken a sip. We have a lot of Jim Joneses out there and its followers. Americans are sipping on that juice, and we don't realize that we are killing our freedoms every day. We don't realize that we are drinking away our rights every day. We are giving away our freedom and what makes us American every day because we are afraid. We are afraid. The only thing Omicron is, and when Zeta comes, Zeta will be that too, because it's for some reason it's following the Greek alphabet. But the only thing it is another mutation. It's another mutation. Family, we got to start thinking critically. What do you think the flu is? Right? You realize the flu is a virus, and do you also realize that the flu mutates every year? Thank you, G-Man. G-Man, this is funny, so I have to put this up here. This is absolutely funny. He is absolutely right. He said, I'm afraid of gas prices. We all out there afraid of COVID. And listen, I mean no disrespect to the people who have lost their lives. COVID is real, just like the flu is real. And we don't make fun of the flu. We don't say the flu is fake. We don't do any of that stuff. Most of us don't, right? Most of us don't, because the flu is very real. And if you ever had the flu, you would know how real the flu is. I've never had the flu. However, my children has had both of them, one in college, and my son, when he was a senior in high school, he had the flu. And I had no idea the boy had the flu, snot all over the place, looking disgusting, but he was my baby. And I went in there and I cared for my baby, and I fixed my baby some soup, and I gave him some Advil, made him stay under the covers. I did the things that grandma taught me, which we have to call my grandmother mother. We don't call her grandma. I did the things that mother taught me. I did the things that my mother did for me. And I helped my son out. And by the time I got him to the doctor, they said, oh, he's on the tail end of the flu. I had not known, and I never got it. Unlike COVID, I had COVID. Now, I may have had alpha variant. Who knows what alphabet I had? But I had COVID. And after I had COVID, I was no longer afraid of COVID. Now, that's not to say that people have not lost their lives from COVID. I'm not disrespecting people in that way. But people have also lost their lives from the flu. And the media does not make a big deal out of advertising the flu. Right? The media doesn't make a big deal out of that. People die every day from the flu. So it's not that I'm saying I don't want to be considerate of the people who have died. I'm not saying that whatsoever. I am. However, I realize, and this is going to be mean, guys. This is going to be mean, so don't write me no fucking emails, because most of y'all know I don't respond to your emails anyway, so don't write me the shit nonetheless. The people who have my number, who are able to text me, they won't say no dumb shit to me no how. And you know my block game is strong. But I am going to say some shit That's some of y'all, because y'all emotional people. Some of y'all not going to like to hear. I just want to put the disclaimer out there. I just say, even if it makes you shiver because you don't like what you're hearing, just listen to the whole content. Listen to the whole message. And don't judge me on that. Don't be so emotional. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at the system. But here's what I'm going to say. People are going to die every day. Whether you want to hear that or not, people are going to die every day. If they don't die from COVID, they might die from eating the fucked up food that they're eating. They might die from their asses being too fucking big. I don't care. Get mad if you want to. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just trying to talk facts. That's it. And maybe the delivery is wrong, but I'm not trying to be a professional today. Maybe the delivery is wrong, but let's talk about the fucking truth. Let's talk about all the sugars that you guys are eating. Let's talk about the diabetes that people have. Let's talk about the amount of fucking alcohol that people drink every goddamn day. Let's talk about that shit. Let's talk about people shooting up drugs. Let's talk about the crackheads that walk around the neighborhood at fucking 9 o'clock in the morning and overdosing in the alleys, and no one gives a fuck about their bodies and that they're dead. Let's talk about the real endemics around the world. Let's really talk about the real pandemics around the world that's affected every fucking country. Let's really talk about it. People will die every day, whether from their health, whether from some fucking stupid ass want to shoot you in the head because you stepped on their Jordans. I don't care. People are going to die every day. People are going to kill themselves every day as well. Let me just let y'all sit on that for a second. Yes means factory. People are dying every day from poverty. Every day. And we know what poverty brings. Poverty brings some real fucked up shit into your lives. Right? People say, money is the root of all evil. Your thinking is the root of all evil. That's your thinking right there. Because let me tell you something. A lot more people would live if they had money and they was able to partake in more healthier lifestyles. I'm just trying to say. Right? That's right, Vegeta. She said, shit, Adolf is dying from student debt. You already know what my debt look like. I told y'all before, my debt is depressing. Shit, that makes me want to jump off the bridge, right? I'm just trying to say, people are dying every day. But all of a sudden, we have so much fear because we're listening to the media every day. We have so much fear because anything that the media tells us is true, we believe it to be true. And anybody who talks opposite of what the media is saying, we are the criminals. We are the villains. We are the evil ones. We are the one that being censored. They're even censoring doctors who are experienced in this field that is saying it's not too much for you guys to worry about. It's going to have to wear itself out. Yes, some people have lost their lives. We don't want to lose any lives. But here are the populations that are greatest risk. Here are the populations that are lowest risk. Right? There's doctors out there letting you guys know this. But they are censoring these channels. They are turning down people who are talking about this. They're labeling them as wrong. They're taking away their privileges. They're trying to take away their livelihood, their income, their channels, their licenses. All because of what? That has got to tell you guys something. That has got to tell you that something nefarious is going on here. Something is not kosher. Something is not right. And the more we don't fight back, I mean, some of us are, but too many of us, again, because of fear, because we buy into this big mainstream media narrative, we're not fighting back. They have you guys to believe initially, and we can go back to the records if you want to. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm going someplace with this, y'all. Just follow the bouncing ball. They will have you guys to believe initially that the vaccine was what you needed. They were praising Joe Biden for taking a strong stance on COVID, and Joe Biden was going to save our country. He was going to get our country back from the so-called Grinch, who they have you believe who the Grinch is. So they had all of you guys believing who was stealing America. They had all of you guys believing that if we stayed in the Grinch's control, we were going to be screwed, we were going to be fucked, we were going to be hurt. So they praised him. They sold this trick bag of the vaccine, and I put this in quotations because they realized, listen to how nefarious and how much sorcery is going on here. They realized that the vaccine wasn't really a vaccine. So instead of admitting to their faults because it wasn't stopping the spread of it, like polio, right? You got polio, you gave the vaccine, and what happened to polio? What happened to that virus, that disease that was harming us? You got the chicken pox, they gave you the vaccine, and what happened to the chicken pox? What happened to that virus that was getting us? You had smallpox, they gave you the vaccine, and what happened to smallpox? You got the measles, they gave you the vaccine, and what happened to the measles? You had rubella, they gave you the vaccine, and what happened to that disease? So when they realized the word vaccine was not appropriate for the jab, instead of saying we were wrong, we're just going to have to call it a COVID shot, like we call it the flu shot. We don't call it the flu vaccine. We say the flu shot. We have to change the name. Instead of them saying that, what do you guys think they did? Because I want to see how much of you guys are paying attention to the sorcery. What did they do? Now, I'm looking at you guys in the chat. I'm waiting for you guys to tell me what happened when they realized that vaccine wasn't the appropriate name for it. But obviously, they haven't changed it because they ran so far with it. They printed out all these vaccination cards. They're forcing you guys to get these vaccination cards to prove it. What did they do? There you go. There you go, Kim. I swear to God, Kim. If I was giving out prizes, you would have got a prize today, Miss Kim Fuller. They changed the definition of vaccine. That shit don't scare y'all. I'm just curious. That don't scare y'all. That don't make you scratch your head that they changed the definition. They literally went in and changed the definition. And you guys just went with the shit. You guys went with the shit. Once upon a time, natural immunity mattered. Remember what they say, if you're immune to it, you have nothing to worry about. And now they're telling you that your immunity doesn't matter. So you have all these researchers who have been studying people who have developed a natural immunity by having had COVID versus those who have never had COVID. And the people who have had COVID prove superior. And some of these studies have been for a year now. First, they told you it wanes in 3 months, but they found out that wasn't true. So they got to keep changing shit over and over again to make you guys feel more scared. They did some studies. They realized that natural immunity even proves superior over people who have never had COVID but got the so-called vaccine. And you jokers are getting COVID. But no one talks about that. It was a recent study. Y'all don't have to believe me on any of this shit. Look it up. It was a recent study when they studied, I think it was 4,000, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but it was in the thousands. But I believe it was 4,000 nurses, or should I say 1,000 to 4,000 nurses. I know it was in the thousands. But it was 4,000 nurses that they had studied that had gotten COVID in the beginning of COVID when they were the heroes on the forefront before they were made to get vaccinated. Because, you know it's not a vaccine. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a vaccine now because they changed the definition. Fucking fools. But nonetheless, they did a study on these nurses. And do you know that these nurses have never gotten COVID again? because their natural immunity, their T cells and their B cells is working phenomenally. Did you guys not know that? But of course you don't know that because no one is talking about that. So what do they do right now, people? I want you to follow this shit for a second. Just follow me. So the Omicron variant was found in South Africa. Ooh, the continent of Africa. Everybody likes to pick on the continent of Africa. So let's have a conversation about the continent of Africa for just a second. Before they found out about the Omicron variant, some doctors, some researchers were very curious why continent has roughly a 6% COVID rate. 6% of COVID infection. Africa has a lower COVID rate than any other fucking country in the world. A lower COVID rate than any other continent in the world. And so 1 week before Omicron variant came out, if you don't believe me, Google this shit. They were curious. How is Africa remaining so low with their COVID rate? In fact, most of the people on the continent of Africa and many of the countries, they're refusing the vaccine. In fact, there is a country in Africa who told Johnson & Johnson to stop sending their fucking vaccines to Africa because the people don't want it. But yet, they have the lowest rate in the world. So a week ago, people were curious. How on God's green earth is Africa maintaining during COVID? How are they not dying? Even their death rates are the lowest in the world. How are they not dying? And then the Omicron variant comes out, and they found a way to demonize Africa. Oh boy, do they like demonizing Africa. They found a way to demonize that continent, the whole fucking continent, the whole continent. Just throw them all in the trash. They found a way to do it. And they said, we don't want anybody traveling from them. Oh my God, there's some people who are traveling from South Africa. We got to divert this plane before this plane reaches the Netherlands. Don't believe me? Look the shit up. Don't believe me. 600 passengers creating fear. They're creating fear. Get them off. Y'all already know what the travel requirements is. Check this out, y'all. Family, check this out. When you go to certain countries, the travel requirement is for you to be so-called fully vaccinated. So-called fully vaccinated. So these people are fully vaccinated, so-called. And they're on this plane, 600 passengers coming from the continent of Africa. They divert the plane. They make the people stay on the plane. And they go and they test all 600 passengers. And out of the 600 passengers, only about 60 to 61 of them tested positive. And out of the 60 passengers, roughly 60, who tested positive, only 13 tested positive for Omicron. So here it is, the whole plane is supposed to be vaccinated. 61 of them are positive traveling and don't even know that they're positive. But yet, America is so hell-bent on running on creating division, because if you divide a people, you can conquer them. Once you divide them, you can convince them for doing anything you want them to do. Once you divide them. So here you are, 61 people testing positive on a plane that's supposed to be fully vaccinated. But yet the war is on the unvaccinated. Fuck a natural immunity such as mine. Fuck that. The war is on the unvaccinated. We don't care if you're naturally immune. We want you to get the jab. Y'all don't think something is wrong with this? Now, I want to be responsible. I want to be responsible right here. I want to be able to say this. Despite the flaws in the vaccine, the so-called vaccine, there are flaws. There are people who have gotten harmed. There are people who have lost their lives. There are people who have had effects from it that they're recovering from. There are those people out there, but the media is not going to talk about those people, but they are out there. Make no mistake. They are out there, and more numbers are becoming more known. And in fact, I believe, now this is my opinion, these are my views, and their views are not expressed by any other person but myself. I believe that even Pfizer, let's talk about Pfizer for a second. I believe that they even know that something is wrong. They know something is wrong because they have requested to keep the results of their findings of this so-called vaccine private for 55 years. Who the fuck tries to hide information for 55 years so all of our asses could be dead? Who the fuck tries to hide that kind of information? Isn't there a law? I mean, come on, where are my lawyers? Isn't there a law that says that there is a Freedom of Information Act for Americans? Thank you, Diana, for that donation. God bless you. Isn't there a law that says when the public in writing requests information, they are supposed to be given that information? How do you get the privilege of requesting 55 years before you release that information? Does that not bother anybody here? Like, you guys are afraid of what? Y'all should be afraid of America. Y'all should be afraid of the Grinch that's running America. Yes, Real B Hollywood. What the hell is your name? Real B Hopwood. Okay, Real B. 2076. They want to release this information in 2076. Why is this not a problem? Why is this not a problem? Here's what Tamika says. Tamika said Omicron is not a variant. It's a vax side effect, period. She got a point. Shout out to Tamika. Right? I'm not saying it is or is not. I'm saying she got a point. That's all I'm saying. I think a lot of us can make some points, right? Shout out to Tamika. I'm just saying, this is the kind of stuff that you all should be mad about. You want to have fear. You should be fearing the man that is perpetuating this. Thank you for that, medicine lady. I appreciate that. You should be fearing the man that is perpetuating this. They're vilifying Africa, who has a low COVID rate. I believe it says 6% in the last article rate. 6%. They could have changed it because you know how media is. The minute Omicron hit, they found another way to demonize Africa. They can change that shit. And nobody's going to go do the research. No one's going to go look for the numbers. They do whatever they want to do. And they just do it to keep us afraid. America loves to stir up fear in us. You know, there's somebody that I follow on Instagram. He's the preacher guy, the white preacher guy. His name is Gary something. I think the guy speaks truth. I think he spits facts. There's some things he says that I don't necessarily agree with, but you know, if somebody is making sense, they're fucking making sense to me. If it wasn't him, it was either Grant Cardone or it was Clever Investor, who was Cody. One of those three white guys, who knows? But here's what one of them said. If you put a red ant in a jar and the black ant in the jar, the red ant doesn't do anything to the black ant, and the black ant doesn't do anything to the red ant. I'm paraphrasing, y'all. It could have said something more deeper, but you know, I don't remember shit like this. He said, however, if you shake the jar, The red ants will fight the black ants, and the black ants will fight the red ants. Where you need to realize that your real enemy is the person who shook the jar. I thought that spoke to me. I thought that was deep because this administration is shaking a fucking jar. And we're all afraid. A year ago, it was whites against blacks. In 2001, it was Americans against anybody who looked Middle Eastern. Not that they were all Middle Eastern, but anybody who looked in Middle Eastern, it was dumb. During COVID, they shook the jar and it was Asians against blacks. Now they shook the jar again and it is the vaccinated against the unvaccinated. We are at each other's necks, but half of Biden's fucking cabinet is not even vaccinated. There's nothing that you guys don't. You don't see what's wrong with that? I think that's problematic. Right? The jar is the media. Somebody said the jar is the media. That's what Lotus the poet said. The jar is the media. The administration is the media. Right? We as Americans, the jar is fucking being shook all the time. All the time. Everything is always making us fearful and angry. Everything is making us fearful and angry. Because we have to realize that America rules on emotion. And if they make you angry enough and they make you fearful enough, they can feed you a whole bunch of bullshit. Let me tell you something. I know you're trying to say, how does this apply to anything else? When you allow your rights to be violated, when you allow your belief system to be overridden, when you allow your parenting to be scrutinized, when you allow, some of you motherfuckers got bad parenting. I'm just saying. Some of y'all need to get checked. Some of y'all need to be checked. I'm just saying. But that's not what I'm talking about today. I just want to put that out there because I don't want you to think that's right. I bust my kid over the head. Ain't nobody gonna tell me I can't bust my kid over the head. You can't bust your kid over the head. Not over the head. You can't bust your kid over the head. You can't make your kid bleed. Right? Some of y'all got bad parenting. I'm just gonna say that. But what I'm saying to you is, when you allow the system to tell you how you educate your children is wrong, when you allow the system to tell you how you exercise your freedom of speech is wrong, when you allow the system to tell you the fact that you want to separate people by their sexes, anyone should use whatever bathroom you want to use, that's wrong. When you allow the system to tell you anything that goes against your spirit, this is what I'm talking about here, y'all. Anything that goes against your spirit, when you allow the system to tell you that your own spirit is wrong and you don't say anything because of fear, something is wrong with you. I'm saying that. I'm saying that and I'm standing on it. You would be surprised how Christmas has been stolen from so many people. You'll be surprised how joy has been stolen from so many people. You'll be surprised at the amount of the influx amount of clients that I have received since the start of COVID. People are mentally losing it. They are mentally losing it. They don't know what to do anymore. Their children are losing it. The parents are losing it. Employers are losing it. Employees are losing it. So many people are losing it. And the person or the entity that's shaking the jar is watching what happens. And they're watching what is going to happen if we don't do anything. Shout out to Hotep God Drilly. He said the black ant is black people and the red ants are white conservatives, divide and conquer. It might be. It all depends on how people want to see it. That's how you see it, Hotep. And I'm not saying you're wrong. By no means, I'm not saying you're wrong. That's one way of seeing it. But my point is there's no one way of seeing that. It can be vaccinated against unvaccinated. It can be immigrants against Americans. It could be black against white. It could be straight against gay. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all through somebody's perspective. It's all in how people are experiencing life. Right? So the point I'm making while I start to wrap this up, what Mike said, shout out to Mike. What's up, Mike? Mike said, the jar has always been shook against black people. They may shake a different jar for vaccinated against unvaccinated, etc. However, the jar with black people never stopped shaking, right? And I'm definitely not saying you're wrong about that either. But here's what I am going to say, Mike, and then I'm going to get back to my discussion. I'm about to end. I'm about to be out of here and go to sleep. But here's what I am going to say to you, Mike. And I'm going to say to other people as well. Y'all just hear me out for a second. We're always going to see the jar through our experience. We're always going to see the jar through our lens. You know what I started to recognize this weekend? This weekend I got in an argument with somebody, right? Because this person pissed me the fuck off, right? And normally people who know me personally knows I mind my business. I'm one of those kind of things that I'm one of those kind of people that things don't tend to bother me unless you fuck with my kids, right? Or you fuck with my money. Then I become nasty. Very nasty. Don't let the smile fool you. You know I'll cut somebody out in a second. I become really nasty. But other than that, people don't really bother me. But this one person said something that bothered me. And I'm going back to Mike's perspective about the jar is always black people. I was having a conversation with somebody who is black. And this person corrected themselves when they said the word white. Because they were talking about white people and they said white, said, excuse me, Caucasian. So I chuckled. Right? I chuckled because I found it funny that this person corrected himself. And I said to myself in my head, I said, self, well, how many white people call themselves Caucasian? Because last I checked on the census, it says white. And there are a lot of people that identify as white. And I don't know if they correct you and tell you, I'm not white, I'm Caucasian. I don't know. And I know that there's probably some that do that. But for the most part, they really don't do that. So I found it very funny that this person who is black corrected himself. But he continued to refer to some black people as ninjas. Now, y'all know what I mean when I say ninjas. So when I heard that, y'all know that triggered me, right? Because I can't stand a person that is quick to put another person on a pedestal while kicking their own people in the back. That's the quickest way to trigger me, especially when the people you kick in the back is my people. That is the quickest way to trigger me. And he triggered me in that way. And I said, wow, that's funny as hell. So, you know, I went and I did my shit because even though there are some of us that act fucking fool, right? But y'all know I don't come on here and I try not to speak greasy about those of us who act crazy, right? You know, I try to tell y'all to get your shit together. You know, I don't like people that act crazy. However, y'all know what I mean when I say crazy. Community, y'all know I'm to my brothers and sisters. You know what I mean when I say those of us that act fucking crazy, right? Giving us all a goddamn bad name. I'm just saying. But I don't start calling them ninjas and all this other stuff. You know what I mean when I say ninjas. I don't start doing stuff like that. So I felt some kind of way about that. So Mike Armstrong, that is, when you said the jar that's being shaken is being shaken on black people, I want to let you know that we also shake the jar on each other. Sometimes we shake in our own fucking jar. And that's the part that we're really not seeing. Now, I know that other entities can be shaking our jar. And they do shake our jar. But what I'm saying is, when we have a discussion, what I just told you, when the person calls us ninjas, but correcting himself from saying white to referring to Caucasian, right? We shake our own fucking jars too. So I think we got to get to a point where we realize that we can't keep pointing out other people that shake our jar without pointing out those of us that are shaking our jar as well. I think there's two battles that need to be fought here. Two battles. So I'm just putting it out there. I'm not going to go deep with that. I'm just putting it out there because I'm okay with us pointing out, because again, that's the lens that you see the world through, and I'm okay with that. I'm never going to mute anybody from the lens that they see the world. I understand that. I get that. But when you're sitting on my side of the chair, on my side of the screen, I'm fighting the system and I'm fighting us. And like I said before, that shit is tiring. So I don't show up for you guys as often as I used to because I'm tired of fighting us. I'm tired of fighting us. The system is hard enough. So from your lens, you're looking at somebody else shaking your jar. And from my lens, I'm not even trying to be in the fucking jar that's being shaken. I'm just trying to tell you the truth. I'm just telling y'all the truth. I start examining jars before I get in that motherfucker. If I'm going to get in it, I'm an Aquarius. I don't like to be in jars, period. So I start to look around like that jar look kind of suspicious. I'm not crawling up in there and getting my ass in the jar. Right? Iris said racial battle fatigue. But if y'all been with me for a while, what do I call it? Because racial battle fatigue, the scholar who came up with that terminology is talking about other people shaking our jar. But those who've been with me for a long time, I don't disagree with racial battle fatigue. But those of us who've been with me for a long time know I also say that there is intra-racial battle fatigue. That is within our race. I'm just so tired of us just always saying one thing over another. Here's what this person keeps writing the same thing over and over again. Let me teach you how to research. Why don't you take my name and fucking Google it, and then you tell me what my doctorate is in? Stop asking dumb fucking questions that you can find out for yourself. I'm not a fucking fraud. You see my face all over Rutgers University. Stop asking me dumb fucking questions and go Google it. This is what I'm talking about. Like, what's the relevance in that? What is the relevance in that question? You understand what I'm saying, people? This is the shit that I'm talking about. This is why I don't fuck with people. This is why I say, let people do whatever they want to do. Let y'all kill each other. Kill your fucking selves. I'm good. You ain't going to reach me. If you come in my house, you might not leave alive. You ain't going to reach me. I believe in my amendment. This is the shit that I'm talking about. What is the relevance with that? You surprised you see my face with doctor in front of it? Like, is that what it is? You understand what I'm trying to say? This is what I'm talking about. This is what I do. This is what I deal with on a daily. That shit is draining. It is unbelievably draining. Like, my ass ain't worked hard enough with being 1 out of 3 black students in my graduating class. Like, I didn't work hard enough for that shit. And then I get a motherfucker that come on here and I'm talking about shit that matters in life, and you want to talk about shit that you can Google. You see what I mean? This is the dumb shit I'm talking about. This is how you know that so many of us in our world, they're not smart. This is why America can put over our eyes what they're doing with this COVID shit. Because half of our asses ain't fucking smart. And I'm not even talking about having to be scholar smart. I'm not even talking about having to be college smart. I'm not even talking about having to be educated smart. Just be fucking smart. Just be fucking smart. If you on Facebook or YouTube and you able to write that, you can read. Just fucking read. What's wrong with people? It's sad. And you know what would be even worse for that situation is, of course, the person is using like an avatar or something, right? But there's so many black faces that has asked me that same question. So many black faces. So many there was one black guy who has said, now they're letting dark girls be doctors. I find this shit hilarious. A black guy said that shit about me. About me. And I was like, this is sad. This is sad. This is sad. A black guy said that. He found it hilarious. This is sad. And I know some of y'all won't even believe that. So I can take it to my family that I'm married into. I ain't gonna tell you which family member because they might be listening to my ass. You know, I'm crazy and shit. But the family I'm married into, the woman in that family said, I find it funny. 2 doctors in the family and one of them is a woman. What the fuck? I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. This is what I gotta do with. Y'all so concerned about other people shaking a glass. Y'all so concerned about white people shaking your jaw. What the fuck? Y'all really concerned about that? I'm not. The only thing I want is my reparations. That's the only thing I want. I don't even pay attention to the shit. I don't. It's not my perspective. It's not my lens. Now, if something happens that I gotta address, I'm gonna address you white people if something happens, because you know you motherfuckers are crazy. I'm gonna address some of y'all. I'm just saying. But that's not my whole perspective. I'm over here trying to show you guys something about how they keep creating fear. And as long as we allow them to keep creating fear, we're going to lose even more of our freedoms. I'm over here trying to educate the community about that. But people are distracted. They don't want to know about that. A lot of people in our community don't want to know about it. And it's sad. That actually hurts my heart. It's sad. Because when we're going to start complaining, because y'all know we always get the short end of the stick. We always get the fucked up piece of bread that's left. You know, the ends that nobody wants to eat. We always get the burnt food. We always get the food that dropped on the fucking floor that nobody wants to eat. We get that stuff. We get the spoil milk. And we start complaining when those of us are pointing out like, yo, we need to get ourselves up there, because by the time we get there, we're only going to have the crumbs. By the time we get there, we're only going to have the spoiled milk. By the time we get there, we're going to have the cold food. By the time we get there, we're going to have the ends of the bread. We're always talking about this, but not too many of our people don't find it serious enough. They just go with whatever media tells them. Go get the vaccine, you know, after they change the definition of vaccine. Go get the vaccine. Go get the vaccine. Go get it. Go get it. Go get it. And now people who are vaccinated are coming up positive. And then they say, well, at least you don't have a serious disease. And this is the stuff that we eat up. We eat up that the media is telling us. And I want to be able to say that, I want to be able to be fair, and I'm out of here, is I'm not telling you guys that for people who have severe risk, comorbidities, sicknesses that make their immune system compromised, I'm not telling those people that they should not be vaccinated. I want to make that very clear. I said it at the very beginning. I just happen to not be a vaccinated person, right? I just happen to not be that person. I'm not telling you guys not to do it. I want to make that very clear. I'm not telling you guys what to do with yourself, because I'm not responsible for your ass. If your ass was to croak, I'm not responsible for it. So I'm going to tell you guys to make the decisions that are best for you. That is not my argument here. My argument is the more we stay silent, the more we allow these things to happen, the more we don't fight back, the more we don't question things, the more we stay ignorant, the less we read, the greater we are at losing our freedoms. That's all I'm saying. The greater we are of having more and more things happen to us. And you got to really think about all that is happening here. Like I did in my video the other day. If you think because you saved a little bit of money toward COVID, don't worry about it. Inflation is going to eat your fucking money up. And they're going to allow it to happen. They're going to allow it to happen. Right? And the more we stay quiet and we don't say anything, the more we're going to lose. And to all my brothers and sisters, you guys are afraid of what? If you're not afraid of this administration and what can happen to you and how this administration is strategically setting your asses up to be at the bottom of the bottom, not just the bottom of the bottom. If you don't see that coming, I don't know what to say to y'all anymore. I really don't know what to say to y'all anymore. I love every last one of you guys. I love every last one of you guys for real. I want y'all to recognize that y'all cannot continue to live in fear. I want y'all to recognize that stop being sold a trick bag. Stop believing everything you hear on media. Stop believing everything you are seeing on the news as real. Not everything is as they present it to be. You should always question everything. You should always do your research. You should always become informed before you make any decision. That's what informed is. Before you make any decision, you should be informed. Before you vote, you should be informed. And you should not be ignoring the things that people are talking about. So I want you to start being prepared for what's coming, because 2022 is around the corner. We're going to have re-election coming up soon. Before you know it, 2 years is going to fly by like this. And I want you to start to think about shit now. Shit now. What did you do before that didn't work and what you should be doing differently going forward? I want you guys to really think about all the decisions that you are making, even the way you are going about this whole COVID situation. Stop being afraid. Listen, I had a cruise that was planned back in 2017. We do it was it 2017? It was 2018. We do it every 2 years. We were supposed to go in 2022. COVID hit. Everything was canceled. So 2021, this month coming in December, we're supposed to go on this cruise. They changed it. They want everybody to be vaccinated. You can't get on this cruise ship if you're not vaccinated. I said, give me my fucking money back. So now I'm fighting them because we are not getting vaccinated. My children and I are not doing all that bullshit. I got a heart murmur. My daughter has tachycardia in her and with her heart. My son has a benign murmur as well. We ain't doing that dumb shit. We're not doing inflammation around our fucking heart, because I read the research and I see what's happening. And all the studies that are coming out are all saying the same thing. We're not doing that. So you can go ahead and run me my $7,000. Run me my shit back. Don't fuck with me. I didn't change the rules, y'all did. Run me my shit back. So now I'm fighting them. You got to be strong, people. You got to be strong. And if you keep giving into shit because you don't want to seem like the odd person out, you're always going to lose. So I want you guys to take that situation. Carnival? Who the fuck is going on a carnival? I've been on carnival once in my life and I almost had a heart attack. I almost had a heart attack on that cruise ship. But now I know why it's so cheap, y'all. I know why it's so affordable. Somebody threw a goddamn glass in my son's face and cut my son on a carnival. I said, good Lord, we went on the most expensive carnival. Ninjas. It was a ninja. Ninjas. Everywhere. Everywhere. You already know. That's right. This is my YouTube husband. You already know, boo. I am a premier holder on Royal Caribbean, baby. I get perks. We travel so much, it ain't even funny. I get perks. But yeah, as I was saying, y'all got to stand. Y'all got to stand. You got to hold your ground. If people tell you, well, you know, you can't come to my restaurant, you ain't vaccinated, fuck their restaurant. It's as simple as that. And if you guys will start saying fuck you and turn around and walk away, they'll change, because this country is ran by money. This country is not going to lose money. They don't want to do that. Same thing with universities. Oh, all the kids got to be vaccinated. If people say, well, fucking my kid ain't going, do you think they're going to hold that rule? Do you think if people said that's all right, I'm good, I'm not going to vaccinate my young children because, nah, they don't need it. I'm not going to do that. If people said that, what do you think would happen? If people started to turn around and say, nah, it ain't worth it, what do you think is going to happen? The businesses are always going to get your money. The businesses are always going to make sure you are a consumer. You are spending. And we need to see that we run America. Stop being so afraid, sisters and brothers. Stop allowing these big bullies to dictate what you do or do not do. Last but not least, I want to be able to talk to all my people who are so afraid of Trump being reelected. Now, y'all can go ahead and identify yourselves if you want to. The people who are afraid of Trump being reelected. I want y'all to just say, it was me. I was scared. Put that in the chat. Put it in the chat so we can all see that you are not afraid to say that you were afraid of Trump being reelected. Go ahead. Put it in your chat. Go ahead. Put it in the chat. I'm not trying to call y'all out. I just want to see if y'all brave enough. Are y'all scared? Don't be scared. Like somebody said, don't be scared. Don't be scared, baby. Put it in the chat. But you know how, some of y'all ain't going to do it because y'all so afraid. Another point, y'all live by fruit. Y'all live by fear. Look at y'all. Y'all can't even do it. Say, I was afraid. Just say, I was afraid. It was me. It was me. I was scared. I was scared. That's all you have to say. But to all you people anyway, a lot of y'all have said, y'all foolish. Y'all so fucking stupid. Go ahead and vote for Trump and our ass is going to be back in slavery. Y'all don't remember that narrative that some of our people said, our skin folk and kinfolk? Y'all don't remember that narrative? Somebody said, it was me. Thank you, Keisha. Thank you, Keisha. Go ahead, girl. Say you was scared. I was scared of Trump. I was scared of Trump. Go ahead and say it, Keisha. But my point is, a lot of y'all was saying that. A lot of people in this community was saying that. See, Queen L said, I heard that. Y'all so fucking stupid. Y'all stupid. Y'all about to be slaves again. Slaves. Y'all be slaves again. Oh, you vote for Trump, you want to be a slave. That's what some of y'all was saying. But it looks like the Democrats have a whole new plantation of so many different races. All of you motherfuckers are on it. A whole new plantation. Y'all better get this shot or you ain't going to have your job. And y'all like, okay, man, so I'm going to do it because I need my job. I ain't about to lose my job. I ain't trying to lose my job. I ain't getting suspended. I'm just saying. The sorcery is real. Who is the real Grinch? The sorcery is real. I'm just saying. You guys are sitting up there and y'all was saying all of that, and now look at y'all. I sit back from my living room working, shot free from my living room, and I'm like, wow, I'm looking at media, social media, because y'all know I ain't got no television in my house, right? I got a television, but I ain't got no television. You know what I mean? I don't watch. I don't have cable. I damn sure ain't giving cable my money. I keep a loose. I keep a noose on my money. Damn sure ain't giving it a cable. But I'm just trying to say, I was sitting back watching you guys on social media all talk about all this stuff about how you vote for Trump, you're going to be back in slavery. He want to kill black people. He going to do this. He going to do that. All this stuff. Y'all crazy. You got to vote for the lesser evil. And I see all of y'all being whipped right now. All of y'all asses are being 39 lashes to the back. Y'all being whipped right now. And I'm like, wow, ain't this a bitch? We getting whipped in our wallets. We getting whipped in our bodies. We getting whipped in our freedoms. Y'all got children who don't want to be what they're born as anymore. They can tell you can't even call. Y'all better call them by their names, baby. Not the names you named them, the names they telling you to call them by. And they're like 3 years old telling you. 3-year-olds changing their names and you can't even do nothing about it by now. I'm looking like, wow, this is quite interesting. Shit, if I wasn't a mama, I definitely won't be becoming a mama in this day and age. I'll tell you that much. The generation will end with my ass. I'll tell you that much. But I'm looking at it. But anyway, I love all of y'all. I swear I love y'all for real. Thank you so much for tuning in. Shout out to all my friends, my family, my frenemies. Y'all be good. Don't start distracting people. Y'all want to know who the fuck I is. Go ahead and Google my name. Google works well. Just don't call my ass. Don't call me. And don't come to my office like one of y'all crazy motherfuckers already came to my office. I closed my office anyway. I'm virtual now. I love you anyway, the person that came to my office talking about don't be scared of me. Don't be scared of me. Who shows up at people's offices? Do you know that firearms can be carried in people's offices? Y'all better stop showing up on me. I'm crazy. I'm trying to tell you motherfuckers that. Y'all don't listen. But anyway, have a good night. I'm going to sleep now. Peace and blessings.